Woo! Smackdown is over. I did not watch Smackdown, so I can't tell you what happens. I only know little pieces from Smackdown. I seen some video of it, but not enough to you know, give y'all any play by play or full blow by blow. So it's only a couple y'all here anyway. So let's go to the comments. Alrighty. Hello, Chef Rike. Hi, I enjoyed Roman Reigns destroying the Mysterio family. Oh, that's dark. Um, hello, Enrique. Hiram said he didn't watch SmackDown either. Okay, so Roman Reigns came out there and did what I thought he was gonna do, which was attack the Mysterios. For whatever reason, that was the case. I have no other words for that other than there's nobody else for him to go up against, and that's just I don't know how this is going to play out. It seems very odd to me that they would set Ray as the one to go up against Roman, and with him being a tag team champion as with his son, I would assumed like it just seems strange to me. It just does. I don't know why, but it seems very strange to me. Tavion, hello. A bum live lost, but I'm glad they showed her entrance. Okay. I don't know to explain. I don't know what else to say about that. So, hold on a second, y'all. I'm looking at the video. I don't understand this. What is happening? Can somebody tell me what happened? Because I'm looking at this on Twitter and Roman just eviscerated Lil Dom. Like what is going on here? Why did he do this? For what? Did they beat the Usos tonight? Like, I need somebody to tell me what's up. I don't understand. Hey, Jay. Hold on a second. Oh, they beat the Usos. They beat them twice? Oh, it ended in the DQ. I see. Okay. It was Bailey's Bob laughing at self acting crazy and putting her face on every virtual screen, audience screen for me. Oh, wow. They didn't beat the Usos. It ended in DQ. So the first match I know for a fact was it did end correctly, but the referee did not see that Jimmy's shoulder was up, so they had a rematch. Okay, and the rematch ended up letting them have the closing match for the night. And from what y'all are telling me, that match ended in a disqualification. So there was no definitive winner between the two teams in either bout that they've had, which makes sense. Okay, so but that still doesn't explain, like, I mean, that doesn't mean, wow, people are so special sometimes. Woo! Hiram, you didn't even watch it, so how can you tell me if you didn't watch the show either? It's very interesting to me. Hey Tiff, I'm finally back on here. Hi Trevon, how are you? They asking Hiram about his music thing. Bianca challenged Bailey at Hell in a Cell. Is it inside of a cell or is it just a regular old match? I needs to know these things. Okay. Apollo and Kevin had a match for the championship and Apollo won. Okay, how did Apollo win? Did Apollo go and it's going to be a regular match. Okay. So did Apollo use his little, his little guy? The one that looked like an iguana? Did he use that big ass iguana he be having around with him for this match to win? Because that's pretty much what Apollo's been doing for every single match he's had. I haven't seen him win a match clean since he's been champion. So yeah. Hello Joey. You learn from Instagram, but you're not. I need some people who watch the show to give me the information because it's not coming in clear when you're only giving me pieces. Okay, Apollo cheated to beat Kevin Owens. He had Aziz attack him before the match. I'm not surprised by that. No, it's going to be a regular match. That's in regards to Bianca and Bailey having an actual match. It's going to be a regular match. His bodyguard was banned from ringside, but Kevin Owens was not 100% in that match, and that gave Apollo an edge because Aziz attacked him before the match started. Got it. Seth and the little toss of the microphone that Kayla is sending me, that shit was disrespectful. I saw that. That was disrespectful as hell. Like, you petty. First match won. The second match was in DQ. Well, the first match wasn't won either. Like, they did win the match on record, but because one of them had their shoulder up, I believe it was Jimmy, the ref didn't see it. One of the other officials caught it. They set a rematch, and that ended in a DQ. So there were some special circumstances to this show this week. Did we have a women's match on the show tonight? I know that Liv went up against Carmella. Was that all you guys saw? It seemed like Smackdown was very central around Roman and the Usos and the Mysterios. All I saw was Roman beat the hell out of Dominic. And I saw that on Twitter. And Jimmy Uso was like, let him go. We don't want to win like this. It's very interesting to me. It's very, very interesting. So what else happened on the show? Because you guys can tell me what happened. No, it was just Liv versus Carmella. And of course, they made Carmella win. Carmella won that match against Liv through that code of silence. I will say I love that code of silence move. I think it's really dope. But I feel like Liv should have won that match. Carmella didn't need that W. Liv did. Otis and Chad disrespected the Street Profits. So they've moved on from the Usos and the Street Profits. And okay. No, Tamina and Tanya didn't have a match. Yeah, Bianca and Bailey had a segment. Tears has said, I'm mad that Roman cost them that match. Oh, this is interesting. Very, very interesting. I want the Usos back as champion. I like the Usos. My distinguished twins will always be my favorites. I don't care if the Usos. I don't care. I love them. I've always been fans of theirs, and I'm always gonna be there like a fan. Oh, you finally beat it, huh?
Oh shit.
So I am 100% Uso fan. I will check them on their craziness if they start doing some ignorant shit. Like I've been on Jay Uso's ass for the last couple of months. But I still rise for my homies, period. Now, I don't understand why Roman came out there. I'm confused. So maybe somebody else who watched the show could tell me. If you just getting clips from Twitter and Instagram, then I'm gonna need for you to fall back a little bit because I need somebody to give me context. Because when you get the stuff from Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, you're only getting parts. You're not getting the whole picture. And that's what I need. I need somebody to explain to me what happened because I didn't get the chance to watch the show. So I just need someone to explain to me what exactly happened with them and how it got to the point of Roman going out there and attacking the Mysterios, because really that had nothing to do with Roman. Like, Roman could have been at home. You know, and this is no shade to the champion. I'm just saying that had nothing to do with him. That was completely outside of his scope, outside of his reach. That wasn't even his match. It wasn't nothing to do with him. Now, if he had to went in there and cost the Usos the match, then I could understand it, because I could be like, okay, well, clearly he don't want nobody to eclipse him, and he's like, I'm gonna prevent you from getting any of that, right? Cool. I'm all the way live with that. But I just need to understand, like, what was the reason? That's all I want to catch. Hold on. Last week's SmackDown was better. Iris says hi. Hi, Tirza. Carmella wants to be known as the most beautiful woman in the world. Okay, what that got to do with her? Anyway.
Hey, everybody.
I like the Mysterios as a tag team, but some big butts. All right, I'm going to catch up with y'all comments.
Period.
He said tears about let her husband Roman have it when he gets home. Y'all ignorant. Andrade showed up in AEW.
Who
Good for
cares?
Andrade. Good for him.
Okay, so what I don't understand, because Roman, he opened the show and he was just like, he said a bunch of stuff, and then he asked Paul to like bring him the twins, and they come out, and he was just like, like, you told me that you was gonna win, so you better win. And then the bullshit pin happened. So cut to their rematch, and I'm confused as to why he cost them. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? Like, he cost them the match. So if you wanted them to win, you just cost them the match. And like, I don't know if it's a setup for they are gonna have a match at the pay-per-view. I don't know, but I was a little confused as to why he was pushing for them to win, and then he cost them. But at the end, after he finished beating up Dominic, Jimmy leaves, and he's like, Jay, come on, come. And Jay is looking like, I don't know what to do. And Roman like goes in his face, and he's like I know, like, you're not about to leave, type thing.
Oh, wow.
And in my head, I'm just like, I get it. It's family, it's blood, but that's like blood. Like, that's his brother.
His twin brother.
They share a womb. Like, I'm like, Roman. I'm like, honey.
Yo.
Leave him alone.
Your man's is tripping. I'm
like, leave him alone. But I'm just like, leave him. I'm like, that's his brother, man. But what I didn't like is like Jimmy just like sat there as he was beating the shit out of Dominic. And I'm like, somebody do something. Like,
nobody did nothing.
I'm like, damn, like, do something. And then he put Dominic in the guillotine, and that poor boy was screaming. I'm like, help him.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, help him. Like, oh my God. But yeah, so I think him interfering in the match is just another continuation of the story. That's what I'm thinking. But I was a little confused as to why he cost him the match. Although I must say I feel like they just got the titles. So like I would think they would want them to have them for like a little bit and and then drop them. But
I wouldn't mind them dropping them
we'll see
at
what
like
happens.
I wouldn't
We'll
mind
see
them
what
dropping
happens.
them at like Hell in a Cell
Yeah, that's
or
fine. But like I was just like they just got these titles what 2 weeks ago, you know?
yeah, it looked like
So
it. I want to say it was. I want to say yes, it was 2 weeks ago.
so let them have it for like a little while, and then they'll drop it to them at the pay-per-view, you know? But we'll see.
If Roman don't get involved in that
At
too,
at
I
first
mean,
glance, I was really confused as to what happened.
what?
But
I was just,
I was
I
confused.
knew he was going to get involved. I was aware of that, but I was trying to understand why it was such a mauling. It wasn't like y'all not finna, this not finna go down. This is supposed, because I understand his dynamic. I understand that this is about me. I'm the champion. I'm the head of the table. Y'all fall in line behind me. Nobody gets anything without me.
But
Cool.
they say no follow Billy the type shit. Like,
Hey,
no.
but that's how your man's operate.
I'm like, and but I'm just like, but that's his brother, man. Like,
He
if
don't care about that.
if I'm gonna be loyal to anybody, and like I see it from both sides. I'm sure Jimmy is just like, or Jay, it's just like, wow, my brother has been how I've been the main event. I've been doing this, that, and the third. But at the same time, that's still my brother. And like you've done a ton of things together. And I'm just like, if I'm gonna pick somebody, I'm gonna pick my brother. Like
Period.
I would want to be champion too. I just don't want to be a follow behind guy and watch you hold up that title every Friday night and I'm just behind you.
Mhm.
Like I want my own title. I got kids too, sir.
Period.
You know?
Period.
So I don't know, but I guess we will just have to see how the story like plays out. But
Smackdown was
yeah,
it was background noise.
I disagree.
I didn't watch it, so I have no
I like
assessment of
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
I just didn't like how Kevin Owens got brutalized before the goddamn match.
I mean,
That
before the
pissed me
match, she
off.
gets beats up, and then Sami Zayn. I just saw on Twitter, Sami Zayn came out there and kicked him in the face.
Yep.
The match over. He got. I mean, he just went through that match with Apollo, which
I feel
I'm
like
ready for Apollo to drop the
same,
Intercontinental title.
same.
I'm
They need to put
sorry.
it back on Biggie
I'm sorry.
and then
I
have
don't.
him
I
feud with
tried.
somebody else.
I tried with Apollo. It really don't have nothing to do with his persona for me. It's just I don't see where this is going, and and he's not him with Aziz. That's not entertaining for me.
Same.
And I understand you're a heel and it's a villain and you're supposed to operate that way, and that's cool. But at some point there has to be something to draw you in. And for me, what's appealing about Apollo is his wrestling and not necessarily his character. I don't.
Yeah, because it was a decent match. Like the match wasn't bad. I just I'm I'm not I'm not connecting or I'm not a fan of the character. like at
Yeah.
all, you know.
Yeah.
But I just was hoping that Kevin could have won, but I guess not. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then touching on Liv and Carmella, like she won with the code of silence, but she couldn't even connect it right.
Oh
Like her nails are too long. She couldn't grab her foot. Like it was a mess.
no.
Like
I'd still say Liv should have won that match.
same.
I um
They
I
at
still
least
think
can give
Liv's a
her
better
that.
wrestler than Carmella, and if given the opportunity, I think Liv can really show up and show out. But I think they're so focused on Carmella with her whole persona. To me, it's not working either. Um, they should have left that gimmick with Vanessa and let Vanessa run with it.
Or leave that gimmick with Eva Marie.
Yeah,
Let her have that.
yeah.
You know? But this whole I'm the most beautiful girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
It's just irritating. And I know that we need variety in our superstars, but there's no other
And
way
not
that she
yeah.
can present herself.
And not for nothing. I'm just like, that's what they are doing with Carmelo though. Like,
That it seemed
you
like
know.
that's all they know how to do.
But I
But from
mean,
what I understood, it was like that wasn't even like they could have just left Carmella as Nella's money. They could have just left her that way. I don't understand why she needed a new gimmick to begin with. I
because
was very confused.
that Princess of Staten Island bullshit was getting stale too.
Well, she ain't
Like
have
it
to be the
was.
princess of Staten
And
Island, but she could still be. I mean,
and the
she could
gag
just
is
be
she
Mella.
ain't even from Staten Island.
No, she not. she,
I'm like,
she
girl,
ain't have to
bye.
be from Staten Island no more. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but why did you have to go here? It just seemed like okay,
I
whatever.
feel like they recycled that gimmick and they like interchange it with different people to see,
Yeah,
oh, like maybe it'll stick with this person or maybe it'll stick with that person. And it's like it was cool at first when she was feuding with Sasha, but
yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. It's just not.
It's over. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. And then I'm over her. I'm over her touching her. Stop touching your gear, Sid. Like stop.
She can't help it
Stop.
because it don't stay up. it, don't,
Then don't wear it.
it does not stay up. Her gear
Wear
always
something
falling
else.
down. But she do that a lot. Like it's either she grabbing
Wear
up,
something else.
like rubbing on her boobs. You know, she always got to touch on her titties somewhere, or she grabbing at a thong, fake thong that she pulling on. I just be like, Mama, if it is, just take it off.
Because
I don't.
the gear is it's cute gear, but I just feel like it's I don't know if she isn't double stick taping it or I don't know, but if it keeps
it's not
falling
working.
down, don't wear it.
Right.
Wear something else.
Now, two things have been announced. So you got China's documentary on Vice TV coming
Yes, I saw
June.
the clip. Yeah.
What is
So
it?
excited for that.
Let me go see.
Which makes me sad.
Yeah, it's coming June 17th. So that's in a couple of weeks. It's on Vice TV. I hope Vice does a good job with documentaries. So I'm hoping they tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I remember maybe I went to a house show and China, I believe at the time, was still with Triple H and DX. And I remember like they had a match and I remember seeing her. And I was like, she's even bigger in person. I was like, oh my God. But she was just so like so beautiful. I was like, yo, like she's huge. I was like, yo. And like at that age, it's like everybody is big. But she was like big. And I was like, yo, like she like And she picked up Triple H like it was nothing and carried him out. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, China, like, it just, it makes me sad what happened to her because it shouldn't have happened that way. And I feel like she spent a lot of years trying to get back and she just couldn't find her way. And that really makes me sad. And what pisses me off is for a long period of time, WWE tried to erase her from like every conversation, from from everything. And it wasn't up until she passed away that they start mentioning her. And that's really unfortunate to me and really sad and really fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they did her dirty and they didn't have to. And granted, like, I know I wasn't there. I don't know what exactly happened, but I just feel like the politics the of the business and nepotism played a big part of them firing her. And I think that's whack
I
because
don't know.
she didn't deserve that.
I don't know the whole story,
I don't know it either, but
and I want to know, which is why I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
watch this documentary. I'm hoping that they give us the whole story in the documentary, like what happened or what has been alluded to what happened. I want to know the truth. I don't want any sugar coated bullshit. Like
Yeah.
it happened in the past. There's nothing we can do about it now. And Stephanie has grown and changed, as has Triple H. So I mean, although people can be mad about it, there's really nothing you can do. You have to make your peace with it because, unfortunately, China is no longer here, and they have to live with the consequences of their actions, but we don't have to be their judge and executioner. We don't have to
And
do
what
that.
I really like it is that her family was really involved in this. And that I feel like will give a better perspective. And um I just hope that they don't they don't fabricate stories in exchange for sympathy or nothing else. Just be honest, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. And I'm just saying I have my tissues ready because I'm a crier and I know myself.
Yeah.
So um but it's just sad because I know towards the end of her life, I know that she was sober for a while and she was trying to get back. And I know that she had several conversations with Mick Foley, and he was actually trying to get her back in WWE as like a trainer or like a mentor in some sort of capacity, which I would have loved, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this should be a really good, interesting documentary. So I'm looking forward to it.
And he told them where they were.
All right. Well, you know
Ouch.
what? The documentary is gonna happen. Hopefully, we'll
Oh no, those are sacrifices up.
shit. We'll get some truth. I'm here watching this with dry, so excuse me. But we're gonna get some truth, and hopefully they will
What are you
they'll
watching?
tell her story. And since her family was involved, I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
And then the whole porn thing, I feel like that was a bullshit excuse because didn't they have a Val Venus's gimmick was a
yeah,
porn star?
yeah. They
Was
used
it
to
not?
have the Godfather, who is the dude who portrayed the Godfather, awesome dude, but he
Like,
had
come
a
on.
whole train. Like the if your whole thing was that she was in porn, then Triple H and Shawn Michaels shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame either. I mean,
I just feel like they didn't have any legs, and they were still salty or sour or blood case, and they just say, "Oh well, we're treated porn." Sean posed in Playgirl. Is that like a porn magazine?
Naked.
Like, come on.
The only thing you saw was that belt
and the towel because my sister had it.
Oh God!
And I remember looking at it, and I was like, I sure did. I sure did. And he was in like a shower with just a towel on, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, that was a whack excuse. It was real whack. But anywho's, oh, this wine is strong. Whew, okay.
So I need to know now because I feel like I need you to be my tough food critic. How were the cookies? Oh,
I ain't get no cookies.
Kenny sent me some cookies, right?
I didn't get none.
No, you have to order them. I actually bought them.
I didn't get no cake either.
I made the cake, Tirza.
Sure.
In the freezer.
Sure.
You see how she do me? You see?
I'm trying.
I'm just saying.
You see?
I'm just saying.
The cookies I bought from Kenny, I didn't make the cookies. I bought them.
Okay. I'll buy me some.
Oh. Get this woman these cakes.
I love cookies.
Get off my ass.
I love cookies.
Kenny's cookies are bomb. I bought sugar cookies and I bought AJ some chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, my favorite.
And they were fire.
Yum.
And the chocolate chip cookies are really good. And Kenny makes them.
But really, they big and like soft.
Yes, they're very big cookies.
Oh, my favorite.
They're so good. The sugar cookies are fire because I love a good sugar cookie.
Oh, you're gonna kill my diet, but that's all right.
Ooh, and she ships really fast. I mean, Kenny, I ordered mine earlier this week or last week. I ordered last week. I paid. Kenny started baking the cookies yesterday, day before yesterday, shipped them yesterday, and I got it today.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. And she's not that far from me, and she's not that far from you either.
Okay.
So, yeah. It don't take long.
I'll check that out. Like, I love cookies. Okay. Or sweets in general. I love sweets. So.
She said, yeah. Meanwhile, you got porn stars, criminals, murderers, racists, and drug addicts in the Hall of Fame.
Period.
This is true. This is true.
Speaking facts.
They stay not giving China her stripes.
Yes.
Is that Hiram?
Yeah.
Hiram?
Tiff, would you ever do a mukbang or an eating show? See, here's the thing with mukbangs.
You got your homework?
He said he got it.
Yes.
I ain't forget.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Here's the thing with mukbangs. I don't mind doing it, but I find it odd that other people want to be on it. Like, I understand the logic behind it because most people are either at home by themselves or they don't have a partner and they want to be able to sit and eat with someone and y'all eating together. I get the logic behind it, but
hold on, Tiff. I'm sorry to cut you off. Is this your Cash App? Like,
hell yeah, that's my Cash App. Yes, ma'am. I didn't take money to run this damn show. Sure. And I'm broke. I sure did. Any donation is worth it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
A dollar will get you together. All of it.
I will donate. Now, I'm like, hold on a minute.
Yes, ma'am. It is Cash App. Sure did. The only reason why I probably won't do it is because people are petty, and I I get very much in my feelings, and
Why?
I don't like people watching me eat.
Okay,
So,
that
cause
makes
like
sense.
I go out to restaurants, and me and AJ go out, and we'll go out and eat. And the moment I walk into a restaurant and sit down, the immediate reaction is to watch what I'm eating or what I order, and I
Screw those people.
very subconscious about that.
Eat your
I
food,
don't even
sis.
eat. Like Gerard gets very upset with me because I'll order food and I'll take one or
Screw
two
those
bites,
people.
and then I'll be like, okay, I'll sit there, my plate's sitting there full of food, and he like, so you're not gonna eat your food? I'm
Why do you
like,
think that is though?
because I'm a chunky butt. Because I'm fat.
And
Oh, this is Ohio, okay? This is every time it doesn't matter how progressive the world seems or how nice most people are. It is like that. And I used to think like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just like my anxiety playing tricks on me, right? But and Gerard thought that too. But I proved it to him because we went out to Longhorn once, and my friend Danny had came with us, and we went out and we all sat, and they sat us in the middle of the restaurant. And I usually sit where I can see the door. Okay. Cause if somebody coming in, I need to see who coming in. So I sit facing the door, and I'll have my back to the window or to like a booth or something that's behind me. So I was sitting down. There was a white family sitting on the right hand side of me, and there was like two or three couples sitting in these scattered
like
tables.
that candle.
We was sitting there chilling. Me and AJ and them, we was talking. We wasn't loud. The restaurant wasn't packed. There was plenty of people in there, plenty of people talking. But this white family on the side kept staring at me. So at first I thought I was crazy, right? But the boy, he had to be like, what was he, AJ? Like 15, 16?
Somewhere around there.
He got up and walked around the table and then went and sat back down and gestured to his mom. Yeah, she's really big. So AJ was like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, yo, I'm like, we are in, where was we at? Minner? It was in Minner, right?
Um,
Was that the Minner Longhorn?
I think so. I can't remember exactly.
I was like, yo, we in Minner, and I ain't trying to get arrested, but I don't like it. So Gerard's like, no, I'm finna go over there. I'm like, no, because you definitely can't go over there.
I
So
would have.
my mother,
I'd be like, is there a problem?
my mom went to the bathroom and came back. And my friend Danny was like, hey, she was like, Mom, Tiffany's upset. And she was like, what's going on? So Gerard tells my mother. Now you can't tell my mother. You can't tell my mother stuff like that.
She needs to know.
Because my mother goes ballistic. And when I say my mom goes ballistic, she is unconsolable. It is very hard to bring her back to herself. And my mother is very overprotective of me specifically. So I don't say things like that to her. We're in a restaurant and they were staring, and my mom turns around and she goes, what the fuck y'all staring at? Real loud in the restaurant. I said, oh shit. I was like, Dry, you didn't have to tell her. He was like, you wouldn't let me go over there. And he like, I know mom is gonna set it straight. And
I would have
so
been
the
right
lady,
with mom.
lady's like, oh
and
no,
started flipping
we were
tables.
just admiring your daughter. And she was like, no, you wasn't. She was like, no, you wasn't. She just going off. I'm like, oh God. The waitress comes over. They're like, is everything all right? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm sitting here trying to eat my food. I wasn't bothering anybody. If I was too loud, they could have just told me. But they're over there and they are talking about me inappropriately. She had her son come over here and walk behind me to see how big I was. And then he went over there and told her how big I was. I'm like, look, I didn't come in here to pay for that. If I wanted to be humiliated, I just walk outside. I don't need to come in here and eat for you to be disrespectful. And she was like, no worries, man. We'll take care of it. And she was like, ma'am, this is your section, your table. Why are you worried about what's happening with the other patrons? And she said, oh, I just wanted to see what was going on. She was sitting over there talking, and I got attention because she was loud. And I
That
was
sounds
like,
some
if I was
bullshit.
loud, you could have said that. Like, you didn't say that. You were talking about my weight and how big I was. And you had your son come over there to double check if I was that big. And I was just like, I'm like, it's hurtful. It doesn't, it's unnecessary. My
But
mother is in the,
even if like you burl out, that's not her place to tell you to be quiet anyway.
she just,
So
she
what?
lied furthermore. She lied about it. And she was like, well, we'll leave. Say she's so uncomfortable. And her son stared me down the whole time they were talking to my mom. And it was just, my mom was just going off. She was irate. My husband noticed this little 17-year-old boy staring me down. And I wasn't afraid, but I know that I'm black and he's white. And it's just that simple. So I didn't say anything. Gerard wasn't having it. So he was like, look at my wife like that again, and I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat. And all I
Period.
could do was
That's
step
what I
in
would do the
front
same
of
thing.
him because he stepped forward. And the boy, he started to cower. And I was like, okay, let's get our food and let's just go. He was like, no, let's finish having this conversation. I'm like, let's just get our food and let's just go. I had to walk him back to the table because AJ was angry. And I was just like, okay, everybody needs to relax. He like, no, we all came here to pay our money to eat. And you got your son out here doing recon on my wife. He was like, anybody saying nothing about them fake ass Jordans your son got on or that ugly ass haircut you got. I'm like, yo,
Ooh.
I said, Jerry, let's go. Please. He was like, no, let's keep going. I'm like, no. I was like, we don't want to have this conversation no more. I just want to go home. He says he was going off, my mother going off.
Yeah.
I said, Danny, like, Tiffany, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. This is what I was trying to avoid. This stuff I'm used to, but these two, they're not used to that. So they go off when they see it. It becomes a big ass problem, and
The
everybody's ready to
upsetting
fight.
thing about that though is we have to think I am in a position where I am a person of color. And I have to be, even though I'm the one that's being chastised or assaulted, I'm the one who has to be calm
Yeah,
because something can happen to me. And
and that was my only
that
issue.
pisses me off.
Yeah, because I know
That
what
pisses
the
me off.
implication will be like. There is a black woman and a black man screaming at this white woman and her
Yep.
son.
Yep.
And that's
Mhm.
why I was just like, I don't want to do this. And that was like the third time that that's happened to me. The first time was I went to Red Robin and I was sitting down and my bra in the back had rolled up. And it was like cuz it didn't fit. Okay? So when you don't get the right band for your bra, it's going to roll up cuz it doesn't have nowhere else for it to go. It can't expand. So I had to get a new bra. Period. That's fine. But the bra was up on the top of my back, and you can see it when I take off my coat. But I didn't know that it had rolled up like that. I didn't feel it until it had started to like dig in the side. If you got boobs, like you got a bra on, and if it's too tight or it doesn't fit properly, it'll dig into the side, and you'll feel it cutting into your skin. So I didn't feel it until like I was sitting down in the restaurant for like I was sitting there for about 30 minutes and I was like, oh God, my bra rolled up. So I was trying to pull it down. There was a family of white people behind me. My sister, my mom, and my brother was there because I had just graduated college and my mom wanted to take me out to dinner. So I was like, okay, cool. AJ had to work. So I was sitting there and we were eating. I had my drink and everything was fine. And they kept snickering behind me. So The girl, this white girl who was sloppy as fuck. There's no
Ugh.
other way to explain this other than she was mad sloppy. And the best way to explain it is like, think like Patrick with dirty flip flops and a sweatshirt.
From
That's what she looked
SpongeBob.
like. Yeah, that's what she looked like. And I was like, okay, like really, like all of them was looking like that. They didn't have their hair comb. Nobody's hair was done. Everybody had on shit you would wear if you was like going to the corner store, like Juicy Couture shorts or sweatpants. The
Not Juicy
bottoms
Couture.
of them
Oh
was
my.
dirty. They had dirty white flip flops on.
Mm-mm.
Sweatshirts was old with food on them. They smelled. That girl that was talking about me smelled like she was smelling like onions. And
Ugh.
I was sitting there like, we
Ew.
kept smelling something. And at first my sister thought it was them cooking onions in the back because they brought out the onion ring
Oh
towel. And
no.
everybody was like, that must be what it is. It must be the onion ring towel. I'm like, that smelled like BO. I know the difference between onions and BO. Okay. But
She smelled like Funyuns.
yes. We sitting
Ew.
there. I had my drink, and they were saying that my dad was like, Tiffany is the first college graduate of my kids. Congratulations. And we rose our drinks and was saying, I was saying thank you. And the girl got up to walk to where the
Different
bathrooms
brothers on.
was.
Sorry.
She walked to the bathrooms. She laughed and then went back and told everybody and was laughing. My sister heard her and was like, what the fuck you laughing at? And got up. And I was like, yo, like, I'm not finna brawl with a bitch who smell like onions. I'm not finna do that. Like this girl stinks. We ain't even, she's beneath me. I'm not finna even go there.
It's not even worth it. Yeah.
No. And she was like, I'm beneath you, but you sitting there looking like a whale. I'm like, the only thing you got on me is that I'm fat. I'm prettier than you. I'm clean. I don't smell.
And I'm
There's
married,
nothing
ho.
else you can say about me other than I'm
Like
fat.
I'm a man, ho.
I'm like, what are you
What you
gonna
got?
do? Besides get your ass whooped in this restaurant because it's 10 of me and it's 5 of y'all. And we don't fight fair. So I'm like,
And
y'all
like,
leave my room.
what you need is some deodorant.
The manager comes over and he's like, do we have a problem? I'm like, these customers are harassing us and they smell. They got the restaurant smelling like ass. Now, if you want to keep people in your restaurant and they stink, go ahead. But I promise you're going to lose clientele because they're going to think y'all got rotted meat in the back. And he was like, ma'am, did you shower today before you came in here? Because you are funky. And I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even say it like that. It was like, you are right. We can smell you. He said, that's what we've been smelling is y'all sitting. Y'all got to go. I'm like, oh. I'm like, that's what you get. Like, maybe if you had kept your mouth closed, people would have just thought it was a funk in here. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's your coochie and not your armpit.
Oh no,
like that.
That's even worse.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh my,
She got upset, flopping her ass up out of the restaurant. The flip flops dirty, feet dirty. I just laughed because I was like, it baffles me. I could understand it better if I somehow was in a restaurant acting a damn fool. I was minding my own business, and that's usually how it goes down. I'm always minding my business, and then some shit like this happens. So, long story short, since I had to tell you a long ass story, I'm very subconscious about eating in front of other people, and I probably won't do a mukbang specifically because of that. Because the internet is ruthless. It's worse than sitting in public. In public, you'll get 1 or 2 people that might say something, but the whole internet feels like they got something they gotta say. No matter what.
I remember like this might have been 3 years ago now, and my boyfriend, he was living at his old place in Brooklyn, and we went to this like lounge that was like across the street from his house, and some of his friends from high school were in town, so we were gonna go and meet up with them. So on this particular like night, the place was like packed with people. Like it was packed. And I was like, I haven't been clubbing like this in a really long time. I was like, eh. So we get in and we're making our way through, and he's like in front of me and he has my hand. So we are trying to navigate through the
What
crowd,
is the particular game?
and all of a sudden I feel like so, someone grabs my ass. Like a good grab.
Oh wow.
And I turn around and
What?
I flinch, and he's like, "What happened?" And he knows me so well. He's like, "What is the matter? Tell me what happened." And I was like, "Oh no, it's okay." And he's like, "No, tell me." And I was like, um, someone grabbed my ass, and he was like, "Who?" And I'm like, "I don't know who it was." And my boyfriend is 6'3", okay, and he is a Capricorn, and he's like very calm, and but I have never in the 15 years I've known him, I have never seen him so angry in my life, to the point where it was frightening me, because I was like, he's about to tear this fucking place apart, and I'm trying to control him. And then I turn around and someone did it again, and it was this white guy. And
No way.
I'm like, oh my god. And I said, and I tapped my boyfriend, and I said, babe, it was him. And he darts, and I'm like, no, 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 no. And like, I'm running after him, and he goes off on this guy, and I'm just like, let's just go home. And trying to contain a 6'3" man is
Yeah,
very
that
hard.
ain't easy.
It's very hard. And like, I'm trying to drag him out because he is this big black man approaching a white man. And I'm just like, let's just go. Let's just
That's
go. And
so
like,
disrespectful though.
it is. And he was like, don't you ever fucking touch? And I was like, I have never seen him so mad like that. It scared me. And I'm just like, let's just go home. Let's just go. And like, I'm pulling him out. I'm pulling him out. And he was gonna kill that man. And I'm just like, no, let's just go home. Like, let's just go. And like, I'm like dragging him out the club. And it took me 2 hours to calm him down. And I was like, oh my god, like I've never seen him like that. Ever, like ever. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then the police came, and I, I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's not,
Oh,
he's not worth it. Like, let's go. And then he is just like, no. He gets so upset when like people even like look at me weirdly. And I'm just like, I'm fine. I just don't want anything to happen to you. Like, let's just go. And I had to I had to drag him. Like, I'm 5'3", like trying to drag a 6'3" man out the club. I'm like, let's
oh.
go. Like, I'm pulling him. I'm pulling him. It was a lot, and I was like, oh my god. And I'm appreciative of him coming to my defense, but at the same time, I was just like,
You don't want to go to jail for it.
I'll be damned if something happens to him because this dumbass is drunk and groping people, you know. And I was like, I was just in shock and just like, because I had never seen him like that, like ever. And I was like, are you okay? And he was silent. And that was a no. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And like, he just was silent for 2 hours.
You're
And
trying to calm down.
yeah. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
That is scary as hell, first of
Yeah, it
all.
is. Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's sexual assault. I don't care what
Mm-hmm.
anybody says. That's assault. You didn't. I'm like, that's not your woman. Number
Yeah.
one, you didn't have consent to touch her. I don't understand why people feel like they could just touch anything they want, especially another human being.
And
I
being drunk and they think it's funny or like it's warranted or like, no. Because if I would have let him go, he would have beat the shit out that man. And and it's not worth it. It's just not. But it's so sad that like we as Black people have to think that way when we are the ones that are being assaulted.
it
You know?
unfortunately that is the world we live in,
Yeah.
and I am well aware. I used to be, I guess you could say, naive about some things because when we were kids, we didn't know. We just knew that I was Black and she was white, and we all went to the same school. At least I did. I went to a mixed school until I went to high school. Um, when I was in high school, I went to an all Black school, but even then, I still, wasn't like worried about white people doing anything or being like, racist toward me because I had never experienced that before.
Yeah.
I didn't experience that until I got to be out of high school as an adult, and you start to realize that like there's hella microaggressions and
Yeah.
this beyond me. Like the idea of people like right now, uh, they don't want Black girls wearing bonnets to the airport or wearing their bonnets
Oh, I saw
outside.
that.
So
I
Monique
saw that.
decided to get on the internet and tell everybody, "Oh, you need to present yourself, you know, as such, And I'm like, "Well, I'm on a 2 to 18 hour flight, depending on where I'm going, possibly even more layovers in the airport. You pay thousands of dollars to get your hair done. Some people have to pay. Them wigs them girls be wearing are not cheap.
No.
Okay,
They
those
cost like a good
starting
wig with
starting at
like a
$100.
unit is a good like $1,000, $2,000.
If you paying for high quality premium hair, yeah, that's not cheap. Not to mention, you still got to be able to keep your braids up. You got to have a bonnet for that. You got to
Yeah.
be able to keep your natural hair up. You got to have something to keep that up. So it's like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, because if I wear the bonnet, then I'm hood. I'm ghetto. If I wear a weave or a wig, I'm fake and I'm not real. But if I wear my real hair, then it's unkept and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So there's nowhere else for me to go. You know what I'm saying?
And
There's
then like
so
another
many.
thing to that is just like not everyone has the the means or even the money to have upkeep like that. So like maybe they just got like a regular wash and set and they want to keep the wash and set, and keeping it intact is wearing a bonnet. I'm gonna be sitting on a plane in a seat and I want to, one, be comfortable, and two, wear something that is going to protect my hair.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I don't
ridiculous.
understand it.
I
Y'all
don't get
put
it
so
either.
many provisions on us, so many restrictions. There's so many rules that we have to live by. Nobody else has to live by those rules and standards. They're only set for me. They're only set for girls who look like me. They're only set for women who I looked up to. All of us have to live a certain way and be a
Yeah.
certain way, and it's not
But
fair.
but a white girl can show up to the airport in a tube top and booty shorts, and
And dirty
that's
flip flops.
acceptable.
That I don't understand that. What is it with the
Then a
dirty
messy
flip
bun.
flops?
I
I
don't
just
get
be
it.
trying to understand. That's all. Well, Hiram, you said you did your report,
Oh
so
yes, I want to hear.
Okay. Sorry, I was on TikTok.
a mess.
All right. So, I covered three songs of Janet Jackson: "All for
Okay.
You," "Rhythm
Okay.
Nation," and "If."
Okay.
And my favorite out of all those three was "Rhythm Nation."
Okay.
Yes, classic.
That's a good one.
That was a really good song. That made me want to dance the whole time.
See,
What'd
I
you like
told
about
you.
it?
So, it was really upbeat. Like it made me want to dance.
Did you see the
But
video?
many songs don't. Yes, I did see the video.
Okay. Okay.
And when I found out it was kind of like a military style dance, is what I found out on the internet. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna start off with "All for You."
Okay.
"All for You" was released in 2001. This song charted number three in the UK, but it hit number one in the US. The song also won 2001 Grammy for Best Pop Dance Recording, which "All for You" was also Janet Jackson's album and also her song.
Okay.
Rhythm Nation. Rhythm Nation was released in 1989. The song charted 23 in the UK, which was really shocking, and it charted number two in the US. Pink covered this song in Happy Feet 2 in 2011. The Video Music Award, it's basically MTV award for the she won this song won MTV award for Best Choreographed and Soul Train award for Best Music Video.
Okay.
And
I didn't
If
know Pink covered
was
that
in
song. That's interesting.
Yeah,
yeah, it
Pink.
was in Happy Feet 2.
And she in 2001 MTV used to do this thing called MTV the Icon, and Janet was the first recipient. So like
That I remember.
they did like tributes, and Pink did um the rhythm. No, she did the, I believe it was the Miss You Much like part of the
Oh, okay.
tribute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Sierra did a whole tribute video in the MTV Awards for Janet Jackson, which I forgot. So I watched the video.
That's okay.
So
You,
now,
you you don't need to see that. That's okay. Why are you laughing?
Because I know you don't like it, and it's funny.
Oh, okay. I'm like, why are you laughing?
Because every time somebody mentions it, that's where she goes, and
I
I'm like,
cringe.
oh
Oh,
Lord.
okay. Keep going, Hiram.
and If was the album cover for the album for Janet in 1993. It
Yep.
charted 14 in the UK and number four in the US. The
Do
song
you
is
know
built on a
how many
heavy.
copies it sold?
No, I do not know.
Okay. I can tell you.
Uh, okay.
The Janet album is her biggest selling album. It sold 26 million copies
That's my favorite album.
worldwide.
I love
Go
that.
ahead.
Well, that's pretty cool. The
Yeah.
song is built on heavy metal guitar riff that heard throughout the music and
Wait, which
contains
song
a
we talking
sample of
about?
Diana
If.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, sorry, Hiram.
and
Go ahead.
contains a sample of Diana Ross, the Superness Somebody Will Be Together.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
cool.
Yep. I call
So I did
the
not
Janet
find the
album
awards
the
for
Love
that
album.
video. So, but I did not find the awards for If. But if I do, I'll get back to you.
I can tell you, for the Janet album, I don't think she won a Grammy for that album. She should have, but she won a couple of Billboard awards, and she won, I believe, a few Soul Train awards, but that was it. But um, the Janet, such a good album. I call it the Love album. I do. It's so good. It's so good. I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy. I'm happy that you actually took the time out and did this, because you didn't have to do it, but I'm happy that you did it. But
I'm
keep
glad
going.
that you found a song or a couple of songs of hers that you liked,
Yeah.
because I told you that she doesn't just have one or two songs.
No,
Most
Janet
artists,
Jackson has
she has an entire discography that could be made up of what most current artists could dream of.
Janet Jackson is the only artist amongst like three others. I think it's her, Barbara Streisand, and somebody else that have number one hits in every single decade. 80, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. In every single decade. That's 40 years worth of songs. That's insane.
Yeah.
Music transcends time.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm just glad you found music that of hers that you like.
Yeah. And Rhythm Nation, fun fact, she got the video idea from Michael, because he said that he wanted to do this like military like base like video, and she was like, hey, like, yeah, like, I'm thinking the same thing, and blah blah blah, and he was just like, okay, take the idea, I'll do something else, and she took it, and then bam. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm
So
glad.
that's when so I did my reports on Sierra and Janet Jackson. So that
Also,
was my report.
Rhythm Nation is a very socially conscious album.
Yeah,
If you listen to it, stuff that she was talking about then is happening today.
correct.
Yeah.
She talks about racism. She talks about all these things that are still going on today,
As did her brother.
30 something years later.
Favorite Michael Jackson song?
Criminal.
You like
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal?
Oh, because
Yeah, Smooth Criminal.
if you was about to say who is Michael Jackson, boy,
No,
I said I like Michael
he
I
said he
would have
likes
Jackson
jumped through
Smooth
this
before.
damn
Criminal.
phone.
It's not my favorite song. Favorite video. Not my
I'm
favorite
gonna
song.
say,
It's not
boy,
my favorite song either. Mine,
I like the video.
it's the video
I
that
love
makes
it.
the song great.
Yeah, because
Like
And
I,
also Billie
I,
Jean. That's my top
I
three.
love "Rock with You." That's one of my favorite songs. That and "Human Nature,"
that's my favorite Michael Jackson
and
song.
I love them. I can listen to that "Rock with You"
Rob
and
with you, the video. He looks like a bajillion bucks. Oh my god. Oh,
I just loved it.
oh man.
And I can sit and watch Michael Jackson videos all day. Like I don't have to if I don't have nothing to do.
I used to do that. Like I would come home from school, I would like rush through my homework or better do it. And
Ooh, remember the time?
I would put on their videos. And like I would
Do
and like
you
his
remember?
videos in particular were primetime events.
Yeah.
Like they were primetime events where they would come on every major network. And I remember my mom, she would cook us dinner, would tell us to take our baths, and we would sit and wait for his video. And I remember when his black or white video came
I
out,
remember that drop.
and that was like his
Everybody was
first
waiting
like
for that.
video
Yeah,
in
that was
4 years, and like
That
he
was
came
yeah,
prime
out.
that's
time
prime time
TV.
TV. Yeah,
Yes,
I
and he
remember
came
that.
out.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yep.
everybody
Yep.
was
Yeah.
everybody was waiting for that shit to go out.
And then he comes out, and he's light
Yes,
skinned.
ma'am.
And be like, what the fuck? Like what? And I remember my
What's
house
that?
That's you.
Oh,
was ringing off the hook.
Thank
Like,
you, ma'am.
did you remember this video?
He ate the can.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. And how long it's been sitting over there? I have 2 bags in there. No, keep that. Thank you.
But I got two. I got a topic that if y'all want to talk about.
Huh?
I think I got a topic I want to talk about if
all
y'all
right.
interested. So I saw this thing on TikTok. I keep on seeing this because
Oh,
it's
I like
Pride Month.
TRT.
It is Pride Month.
What'd you say, Hiram?
So I keep on seeing this thing on TikTok. It is Pride Month.
Oh,
So this thing on
Pride
TikTok.
Month.
Yeah, he's saying Pride Month.
Yeah. So this thing I'm seeing about is that people are coming for Pride Month and making it say it should be one day because the military doesn't get a holiday. And I'm kind of not understanding why you're saying this. And people are turning off the comments, but they don't want to get educated that
Well,
there's
I
actually
feel
3
personally,
months.
I feel like Pride Month should be every month, but I understand why it's so significant for Pride to be a month, because we have Black History Month, all these other months, but I
Mhm.
just feel it bugs me out, or it's just something that I've never understood is what is the problem with someone being gay or trans, or I don't understand how that affects somebody's life. I just
You
don't
would
I
never
just don't
understand it,
And
honestly.
and
and
then
I had
people,
and
they
I just
always
found out yep.
fun and pull the Bible card, and I'm just like, well, the God that I believe in, he loves everybody,
He does.
everybody,
Mhm.
black, white,
Yes,
Hispanic,
he does.
red, green, purple, gay, straight, bi, everybody. So this whole the Bible
Mhm.
says this, it just it doesn't sit well with me.
Are you asking everybody, Jaden, if they were when they were a kid? Did you question your sexuality? No, not me. I always knew I was attracted to men. I think women are beautiful creatures, but I'm not sexually attracted to
I
women.
have my moments, I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Let's just say
I,
she's not gonna discriminate. She's a little fluid, and that's
I'm not gonna
okay.
lie. I'm not gonna lie at all.
That's okay. I don't.
um, that's a personal question I keep on
My
asking
20s
myself.
were wild, honey.
I mean, you're young, Hiram. You have plenty of time to figure
Yeah.
that
You
out.
know, that's
You're not
messed up.
like.
I can imagine Tara just saying some shit like that. Too. You walk out, she got fast. Wait, what?
My 20s were crazy.
You
Let's
guys
see,
are
I'ma just
haven't
say
young.
had the
that.
Some of
baby
you guys
girl.
aren't
I'ma
even
just
in
say
your
that.
20s yet. And even if you are, you still have time to figure out what you like and what you don't like. So
Yes, and
I would encourage you
it's
to
your
experiment,
choice.
but do it safely, please, for the love of
Yes.
God. Just experiment safely. Okay? Don't go out there and just be dipping it and doing it with any and everybody. Okay?
Please don't.
Just be
Please.
safe about it. Because it doesn't matter what's going on, despite COVID, STDs still exist.
Just remember, 1 + 1 is 2, not 3. Just
Lacey
saying.
Evans has a baby girl. I'm
Worry
sorry, I
about
just had to
babies.
nail
I'm
it.
worried
I
about the
can't take it.
diseases.
I remember being 6 years old and seeing Janet for the first time, and I was just like, she is the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. And I was just like, oh my God, like, whoa.
Aaliyah said she
Wow.
thought your 20s weren't over. You thought you was in your 20s?
I am 34 years old. I'm in my mid 30s. Yeah.
Prime of your life.
My 20s though were so lit. They were so lit. Like, oh man, they were fun. But yeah, just like be safe. Be safe and take your time and don't be in a rush to grow up.
Yeah, and I mean,
Don't.
I don't know no other way to say it other than like everybody don't deserve to be in your space.
Yeah.
Period.
Like everybody doesn't deserve that. So even if people are like trying to guilt trip you into it, because people did that to me, so I know what that feels like. And they're like, "Oh, if you really love me, you'll do it." Well, if you love
Yeah.
me, you respect the
No,
fact that I don't want to do it. So it
exactly.
works both ways. So I wouldn't be worried about what you like or what you don't like just yet because you haven't had a chance to feel that out.
And you're how
So
old?
Hiram,
I am 15.
yeah, he's got plenty of time.
Oh, you got so much. You got so much time.
You got
Like
plenty
I
of time.
turned 15 in I turned 15 in March. Literally.
You got
March
plenty of
what?
time.
March 11th.
I'm the 17th. Pisces. I'm the
Yay!
17th. Okay. Yeah, you got plenty of time to figure out. 15 is that like kind of pivotal
Best.
point where like
You
okay,
don't have
and
shit to worry about for
right.
school.
Need your grade and your chores.
You ain't got no bills.
Yeah,
You ain't got
bills,
nothing.
Nothing.
I will trade places with you right goddamn it now.
Jesus.
I think
Right
Damn
I'm
it.
now.
good.
I will do
I
it.
think I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Hell.
You're perfectly fine.
Hey, I just want to go back to 19. I only had one bill.
Yeah, 19. Life was good at
I
19.
would do
No, I take that back. I
19
had
again
two. I had
too.
my cell phone
I
and
would
my
do
work. That was
19
it.
because that's been I started dating my boyfriend. I would do that
Um,
again. Yeah. And do it differently though. Cause yeah, like we dated for like a year and then like we broke up because he like he was in college and like I'm here dancing. So like and there was no social media back then, FaceTime,
yeah,
nothing. So like
it
it
was
was
hard.
super hard. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, this is your freshman year of college. I don't want to be the thing or person that is like that's holding you back from doing things or like so like we broke up and
Experimenting,
like
having fun. So you
it
just
and I was so devastated because I was obsessed with him. But I was just like, I know at some point that like
Excuse me.
are gonna we are gonna get back together at some point. And it took us 13 years, but
oh god, we thinking that's a long time.
here
Right.
we yeah, because like life happened and like I was doing my thing and he was doing his, but like we were still friends and still hang out and like he would still like that like one person that you like always like go back to.
Yeah,
He was that person. But at the same time, it was like, okay, so what are we doing? And like it got to a point where I was just like, either we are gonna do this or not. And he was like, I can't. And I was like, so I'm gone. And so I left. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then a couple years later, bam, here we are. So I say that to say this. Just take your time. Take your time and just and figure out what you gonna do with your life too.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, you got time, but like everybody likes to. I'll put it this way: not everybody has to be a king or queen bee, right? You're
I'm a queen bee,
always.
honey.
It's
I'm
always
a queen.
being. No, I'm just saying, like
I'm kidding. I'm
everybody's
kidding.
always in, especially nowadays. The millennials, our era of people, are always telling everybody you need to be a boss, right? You need to be your own boss. You need to do your own thing. Well, not everybody can be a boss. Somebody has to man the helm and
Yeah.
keep the ship going.
Yeah.
Because if you're at the helm and there's nobody running the bows of the ship's gonna sink. Okay,
Yep.
you need workers. So even if you are a worker, don't be upset or think lower of yourself because you're not an entrepreneur. That doesn't mean anything. It just means you're one of the cogs in the gear. It means that without you, it doesn't turn. They need you. So if you want to work and you're like, well, I'm going to go get a job. you want to work every day. That's fine. There's nothing to be ashamed of to have a job and make sure you have food for yourself. And if you decide to have a family later on in life and have a wife, you're providing, or a husband, whatever you feel like, if you're providing for yourself and your family, that's all that matters.
Yep.
I feel like nowadays everybody is shamed because they work at Burger King or because they work putting furniture on trucks or because they garbage men.
And
or
the truth is, Burger King have better benefits and packages and wages than people who do big labor jobs.
Yes.
Like, so there's no shame in that.
And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised about what people say. Because they're like, oh, the internet provides
McDonald's
you able to do so much. Yeah, but the internet is heavily saturated too.
Yep.
Millions of businesses are running on the internet. And if you're not in a niche program or in a niche company, then you're not going to be able to get past all these places. Like, if you want to sell hair for a living, you might be shit out of luck.
Yeah, because there's a bajillion hair businesses, companies.
Period.
Yeah, that's
thousands.
hard.
There's thousands
Just
upon
like makeup.
almost millions of hair companies on the internet selling wigs and weaves, lashes, cosmetics, everything you can think of. There's an internet company for.
Yeah.
So y'all, I mean, you working at a regular old place and having a job, that is not anything but honest work. And it is okay to do honest work.
Yep.
And don't let anybody shame you into doing anything you don't want to do.
Yep. Yep.
I get really tired of that. It's like, especially some of these girls, I'm telling you right now.
And not everybody wants to be an influencer.
No.
Like, not everybody.
Yeah.
When I watched that documentary, even though it was sad and pissed me the fuck off, it inspired me in a way. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I'm kind of glad that they did. I'm kind of glad they did highlight the Tulsa massacre because it was something that was hidden. We didn't get taught that.
No, we didn't.
They didn't teach us about any of that. They didn't teach us about Rosewood. They didn't teach us about any of that. They didn't even teach us about Juneteenth. They didn't teach us about that either. What we learned in school was that the slaves were emancipated by Abraham Lincoln. They never said anything about it not being executed until 2 years later. They didn't.
They barely touched on that.
That's all they teach you?
No, yeah. You'd be surprised what we learned.
Yeah.
Did I keep one of those social studies books? I think I have a history book upstairs in my room. But I mean in the attic. But they didn't teach us that. The books that we got for American history, when it got to American history in terms of slavery, yeah, it says the slaves were enslaved for 400 plus years and then they were freed by Abraham Lincoln. It literally was on one page. And then they moved on to the revolution. They showed us who the abolitionist was. Well, some of them. They touched on Harriet Tubman. And then they would move out of that into the suffrage with the women. So we got
got that.
We got to see who Susan B. Anthony was and what she did, but she was racist. So
sure was.
I didn't even know she was racist.
They need to
until this year.
Yeah, she was racist.
They need to update and change the curriculum because there's so much information and new things, and I feel like the curriculum is so outdated. And
they're not going to do it. They just tried. They want to teach critical race theory in schools, and they're dead set against it. They said no. They said no. So I said, fine.
Why are they against it?
Because they don't want you to know that the United States is racist.
Racist country. Yep.
They don't want you to know that this country was built off of racism. They don't want you to know that. They want you to get the education that they've structured for you. But you, all of you who listen to this live, back in the playback and right now, you need to do it for yourself and for your children and your children's children.
Yep.
So when you get ready, if you decide to go to college or just on your own time, take Black Studies. I
That's
guarantee
when the
you, you'll
quizzes. Oh,
learn.
see, I have to
You'll learn
see.
everything you need to know in Black Studies and your own research. When you start learning and researching things on, because Google is free. Okay,
Yep.
Google is free, and there are a lot of people online who have books. They have books that are chronicling all of this stuff. There are all types of information, audio books. There, you can go to the library and find the stuff. It may seem like it's a lot of work, but I'd
The
rather
library is
you
old school, girl.
look. You'd
You
be
feel
The
like
surprised what you
library is
find at the
old
library, though.
school.
You could go to the library and put your hand on that book, but you be on the internet on Google and you sitting up there having to sift through all that information. It's a hell of a lot easier to just go to the library and go to that book than it is to sift through the information on Google. Now, if you're willing to do that, cool. But
Mm.
I'm old school. I don't mind picking up and going to the library and picking out a book at the library.
I don't even have a library card anymore.
Girl,
I
that's
haven't went
a
to the
mess.
library
I haven't been to the
since
library
fifth
in
grade.
eons.
I love the library.
It's been forever.
The library is like my place of solace.
Is it really?
Yeah. Books were my thing when I was a kid. That was my escape, was watching wrestling and reading books. I would read books in my room in the summer instead of going outside to play, because even though I have friends to play with, I would rather escape in my books than to go outside and play.
I was the same, but with like wrestling and videos. I loved music videos.
Yeah.
I knew every single song,
Yep.
every
Every
video,
dance.
everything.
Yes.
Like I loved it. I loved it.
That's just what I knew that I was different when, like, most of the kids at school were like, they would ask me what I would do on the weekend, and I was like, oh, I read this new book. It was great. And they would all look at me like I was a weirdo. Like, it was like 90 degrees outside. Why were you in the house reading?
Yeah.
I feel like, first of all, it's too damn hot.
I'm like, first of all, it's hot outside, number one. And
I
my
don't want to get
mom
burned
and
on the house.
dad had an air conditioner in their room. So I would wait until they would get up in the morning and go downstairs and get to clean it up and stuff. And I would sneak off in their room. I would sneak off in their room and I would sit in their room
I danced on weekends.
and just
So
read.
that was my weekend.
I
Dance
loved it.
classes
I just sit around on my
and Soul
weekend.
Train.
I loved it. I
But this
thought it was
weekend, I
like
got to go to camp.
the greatest thing ever. But that's just what I like to do. I still
And
read.
now
Well,
I've never
college is
been
your
like much of a
choice.
book person.
College is a choice. I don't think everybody is cut out for college financially or mentally.
Because I wasn't.
Everybody's
I
not
wasn't.
meant for college.
At
So
all.
I don't think you have to go. But I do think if you want to be in a specific field, that you do need to have some education on it, which to me doesn't mean you have to go to a 4-year university and experience being in college. You don't have to do that. You can go to a trade school, maybe go for 1 to 2 years, become certified in what you want to do, whether it be an electrician, you want to be an HVAC specialist, if you want to do IT, you want to be a cosmetologist, nail tech, whatever the case may be. Most of those trades are trades that can make it through any type of depression or pandemic, as we just saw. Hair, barber, anything like that. That's a trade. So you would go to school for maybe a year or two, learn what to do, and then you can go and be your own boss or work inside
I
of
thought you were gonna throw those at me.
So I would most definitely not consider college as my number one end all be all thing, because it's just not true. And plus it's overrated. It's like hella pricey. I am grateful for the education that I received, but not for the price that I have to pay now because of it. You feel
It
like
was
you're
just
being
not for
punished
me.
for going to college.
I just was like, nah, I'm good. Nope.
You just feel like you're being punished for going, and the debt that you're in, it can
It's
be
not fair. Yeah.
no. And it's like, if you don't go and you don't have, like, Tirza had a talent, so she was able to capitalize on her talent. right? Despite the fact that I mean, I could sing. I know how to dance if I needed to dance. I ain't got tears of skill level, but I can catch the beat. Okay. That was not something that I wanted to work in as a field. My original plan was to work in the food industry. But after college, after high school, I wanted to have a sustainable career that I could fall back on. I wanted to have a backup career outside of the culinary. So I was like, okay, like I was really into the mind and how the human mind works. So I wanted to be a psychiatrist at first. And I went to this school and I was like, hey, like, do you have the program there? And they were like, oh yeah, we have this program. And I'm like, I don't see it on your curriculum. I don't see it up there. Oh, no, 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 no. We have that. Don't worry about it. We'll get you enrolled and everything. Come to find out they did not have the psychiatry program. So, number one, I was tricked into going into the school. And the pamphlet that they sent out had psychology on it, but it was specific to business. So it was organizational psychology and more so about how to maintain the morality of your company and how to fix when your employees are in an uproar or your employee retention is down. That's what organizational psychology was for. But they prefaced it as if it was mental health help. So I was 18, 19 years old at the time, and they were like, yeah, we got it. Don't worry about it. You're going to do this first year, which is your general studies year, and then you'll go into your your major. When I got done with my first year and I got my associates in what did I get? An associates in business. I looked at it and I looked at my curriculum, the next set of classes that I had, there were no psychology classes in there. I was very upset. And I was like, I thought that I was going to be taking psychology classes. And he was like, my student advisor was like, no, we don't have that program here. We do like criminal studies and criminology. We have that. We have business administration. We have health. They had it was in health, but it was more health administration. So it was on the business side of health. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And he was like, well, we can withdraw you if you want to withdraw, and you can go to the school that you want to go to. And I was like, well, I done went and did all of this work. Now it doesn't make any sense for me to start all over somewhere else. So I might as well stay here. So I stayed at the school. I got my associates, my bachelor's, and my master's. I got what I was supposed to get, but it cost me $189,000. So I don't think that it's not worth the time and the effort that you have to put in, because in the end, if you don't get hired anywhere, which is another problem, that people don't want to hire you because they feel like you're inexperienced. Despite your education level, you're inexperienced. However, they don't want to hire you. So it's a never ending cycle of them not wanting to hire you because you're not experienced, and then you not getting experience because you're not getting hired. So I went through that for a year, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm not put out to be a worker bee. I can't do that. I worked at a couple temp agencies, and I did jobs, data entry jobs, and it was like being a mindless drone, and I just couldn't do it. So I told my dad, I was like, I think I want to go into business for myself. I said, I went and did all this education. I have a master's in business. I can do this. And he was like, okay, well, what do you want to sell? What do you want to do? And I'm like, I need to do something that I'm knowledgeable in, or at least that I have somebody who can help me in it. Right. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go into menswear. I'm going to sell men's suits. He was like, you sure you want to do that? Like, not a lot of women sell men's suits. I'm like, yeah, but most men will trust a woman's input on a suit before a man's. He was like, you got a point. Okay. See what you got to do to figure out how to do it. He said, I'll help you any way I can. So I wrote up the business plan for my business. I opened Creative Accessories in 2017. When I opened my business at first, I had a supplier. The supplier is the one who supplied me with the website, with like all of my inventory. All I had to do was advertise and push sales, right? Push, and it worked. I was getting on average 2 or 3 sales a day in the beginning because of the way I marketed the business. My supplier went under while I had my website up, didn't tell us, and I had to start from scratch. So so you have to think like you're finally getting your feet wet in your business. It's starting to move. I was doing basic marketing on Facebook. I grew my Facebook page from 2 followers to over 13,000. I had everything I needed to maintain my business to where it needed to be, but I lost my supplier. My supplier had everything, access to everything, and he just went under, didn't tell us, and boom, I'm dead in the water. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I ended up losing my domain. My domain name got sold from underneath me while I was still in business. So imagine trying to get up and access your website one morning and it's gone. I was devastated. And my mom was like, okay, she said, I need you to stop panicking, calm down, and you have to think. She said, what can you do to salvage the business? I'm like, Mom, I will have to start over from scratch. I'm going to have to individually establish a relationship with each vendor, figure out how I'm supposed to access the stuff through them. Then I have to be able to buy it on each order. So every time I get an order, that's when I can pay for it because I don't have the funds to be able to pay for inventory. You have a retail business, you have to either you're drop shipping or you have inventory. I'm like, I don't have the money to pay for inventory. And she was like, well, let's see what we can do. It took me a year to recover from that. And I still haven't fully recovered from that. Despite the pandemic hitting, I was able to establish the relationships with some of the vendors, and I can purchase um orders via each order I can purchase from each vendor, but it's still very, very difficult. And you get discouraged very easily. It is not an easy job to run your own business. It is very, very difficult, especially when you're talking about having to deal with clientele and having to deal with their finicky.
Oh,
They're finicky, they're moody, and they believe that you are somehow like a service for them. Like you're a slave for them. I remember once there was a man who I called because on my website I make it very clear when you order, you have to give us 2 weeks to process your order to make sure one that your payment is legitimate because I've also gotten scammed many times with people ordering stuff from my site and the credit cards being stolen or the credit cards are not valid in terms of it being a fake credit card. Too many times to count. I've lost thousands of dollars because of that alone. Accounts overdrawn. AJ's working and he's footing the bill for a lot of this stuff. It's not easy. So I'm telling you that if you are planning on having your own business and you want to do that, it is a thankless job, number one. And number two, it can be highly stressful, extremely stressful, especially when you're dealing with clients. I had a client once call me and cuss me out because his suit didn't get to him in time. He wanted his suit to be shipped to the hotel. However, his order was set to be shipped to his home, not the hotel. So, to accommodate the client, I got up the next morning when the suit got to me. I got up, double checked his suit, put all the stuff in the box, and I shipped it same day to the hotel in Detroit. And then he gave me a 1-star rating on Facebook, and he did it on Yelp, I believe. And he said my customer service was lacking.
I hate people.
So it doesn't matter what you do.
Nope.
Some people just are not going to be pleased, and you have to be okay with that, and then you have to move forward. So anything that you guys plan on doing, I don't care how old you are, 15, 22, 35, it doesn't matter. You need to be aware of the risks that you're taking in doing it. And number two, you need to also be aware of how you're going to be mentally. How can you mentally deal with um, being a part in that type of space, because it can be very stressful and it's hard. It is very, very hard. And I work from home, so AJ works, and I'm with him, and I'm having him, like, I'm like, hey, can you drop this off for me? Can you take this to the store? Like, I need you to take this to UPS for me. He's like an unpaid worker. It's so messed up. Because he believes in me, and he's like, well, I'll help you any way I can. And he does mindlessly. I ask him to do anything, he does it. I don't really have to fight that much with Gerard.
He better.
I'm gonna get sick and tired of this Nyla hate on Instagram.
I think school should teach us how to finance and stocks. School should teach you about
I
finance,
said that.
period. They should teach you about
They
finance,
should teach you
how to
about
buy a
credit,
house.
about keeping credit,
credit,
building
how to
credit,
utilities. They don't teach you
taxes.
any of that.
How to
There are
pay
no
your
life
taxes.
skills
Nope.
in school. There are no life skills in school. My dentist assistant kept pushing her ideals on me. I was so glad she wasn't there the last time I was there. Ideals. What ideals did she have? Was she a Trumpy? Sometimes they're weird. I really want to be a model.
Sometimes.
Something with computers or something with art. What? That's a lot, Enrique. Like, well, I'll put it this way. I know some people who have multiple jobs. Like, there are some people who run businesses, they're lawyers, and they're like, and then they'll be like pastors on the side or some shit like that. Like,
Oh, so somebody decided to call me a bastard. Okay.
what?
Cause no, this is an ignorant dude on Instagram. He calls Nyla Rose
Block
a
him.
dude,
Just block it.
and I told
It's
no,
not
that's a
worth it.
woman. That's a woman. Nyla Rose is a woman, and he called me. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth, ignorant bastard. It's a man fighting a woman. It's not fucking right.
Well, he has a little dick, so it doesn't matter. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about it. Every
For
battle
me, like, I knew
fought.
I always wanted to be a dancer, but I knew as I got older, I always wanted to be in entertainment. So I would always have jobs that were involved in that. And it was the only thing that I was good at, because I wasn't good in school. I hated school. I was not a school person at all. So, like, and being that, like, I knew that, I was like, okay. So I would always do like things that were involved in some sort of way in business. So, like, I would dance, and then, like, I modeled for like a couple of years, and then, like, I would always be involved somehow. So just find something that you're good at. And now that I'm in my 30s, I want to, by by 40, open my own dance school. So that's a goal that I've been
Well, can you
working
train
on
me?
for the
What
past
happened?
year. So
I said,
hopefully
can she train
that'll
me?
happen.
Because I need to learn how
Like,
to
can
dance.
she try? Oh Lord.
I'm
Yes,
terrible.
Andrade is in AEW. I am aware of that.
What he is?
Yes, I'm happy for Andrade.
Cares? I don't
I just
care.
don't care.
He's all elite now. Y'all happy
Do any
now?
of
He's
you
all elite.
drive? If so, what's your experience with driving? Is it bad? I don't
I
drive.
don't drive either.
Drive,
I live in New
drive
York.
drives me around.
I live
I
in New York.
I don't drive.
I'm 15. I can't even drive.
I don't drive, but
I learned how
I
to
do
drive.
know how. I'm terrified to drive though. It is not an
I want to
experience
learn
that
though.
I want to do. Like
I want to learn.
I hate it because for one, like it's uncomfortable for me to drive the way that your foot has to be positioned. Like you have to get used to that feeling of moving your foot in that way every single day. That's not normal for you to sit with your foot like that. And then people are fucking animals. Like I literally saw a dude get out of his car and get mad because a lady sped up on the freeway and like
New
he
York, it's terrible.
got out and like literally knocked on her car window and was just like, "You're a fucking bitch," and then got in his car and
I'd be like, thank you.
drove
Bye.
drove off. And
I
I'm just
take
like, "What
wherever you
the
say mean to me, I'll say thank you for the compliment. I
like?
really
What the
appreciate it.
fuck is that? What is?" I'm like, "Oh no." I was like, "I will forever be driving Miss Daisy. Drive's gonna drive me everywhere. I'm not gonna, not gonna,
Well, I'm gonna, I'm gonna
not
learn how
gonna
to
do
drive
it."
soon.
They pick at me though. They're like Tiffany, and I sit in the back. I don't sit up front because
I
he's
want
my
to learn though how
chauffeur.
to drive.
He's my
My
chauffeur. So I
boyfriend
make him
drives,
chauffeur me
but like I want to
around.
learn. I'll learn at some point. He tells me, "Give me have kids." I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be doing carpool. That's your job.
Oh
So
Oh, that's
man,
okay.
I'm not gonna be doing carpool. That'll be your job. I'll be the MILF at home and like working, and I'll be the MILF.
hell no! Drive the pass out. I said, hell no. Not no, she ain't saying milk. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
It's true.
That I needed to go to cosmetology, go into cosmetology, or get a fast food job just to get money. But that was when I was going through a lot of mental trauma, and then my dad died pretty soon after. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's very sad. I don't know if she was a Trump supporter. Okay. Do you have Black Trump supporter friends? I do, actually.
Look, high school one of
I do. One of my friends in high school was a Trump supporter in the beginning. I'm not quite sure if she still is or was, but she was very much supporting him because she felt like Black people didn't know about how to, save money or how to manage their money. She was like,
And neither does he,
we had this. It was,
because
and
he ain't got no money.
this was my birthday. We had this conversation. It was so awkward and so weird because we were all downstairs. We were talking, and the conversation was about Trump running because he hadn't won yet. And she was like, "I'm going to vote for him," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "How can you, in good conscience, vote for him after the things that he has said? It is very clear that he doesn't care about people who look like you and me." She was like, "Well, I don't want any illegals in my country either." I'm like, "You have to remember, this don't belong to us either. This not our land. This is the Native
It's
Americans'
the
land.
Native
They came and
Americans'
stole
land.
this land from them. So how can you claim ownership over something that you don't own?"
Now, speaking of that, I was watching. Can't remember what I was watching, Oh, I was watching LeBron's TV show on HBO.
The shot.
Yeah, and he had Seth Rogen on there on that particular episode, and he was saying he noticed how they do things different in America than they do in Canada. Like he was doing a show in Canada. You know, he's
He
Canadian.
Canadian, yeah.
He was doing a show in Canada, and it just so happens that the theater that he was doing the show at actually was once owned by indigenous people. So before they got the show started, the PA announcer came on and said, "Hey, welcome to everyone. Welcome to the so-and-so theater. We all would like to let you know that the theater is built on land that was once owned by indigenous people. Let's all have a moment of silence to acknowledge this.
Now to put a pin in that, AJ, because I'm finna blow your mind a little bit. That was just them. Canada is extremely racist to indigenous people and black people.
Right.
I'm telling you.
I'm like,
okay, go ahead.
I just thought it was odd that they would bring that up.
Well, I mean that was nice, but right. I'm just saying that was just them.
I'm aware. I'm well aware. Saying. I'm just saying, like, you ain't gonna do that here.
First of all, they got to acknowledge that they did something wrong, and they refused to do that. So the thing is, we made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry. I was watching Wendy is on, and she talked about Kanye. Some stripper said that Kanye was at the club she works at, and he didn't drink anything or do anything, but he tipped her $15,000.
Okay.
What? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay.
Did I give $15,000?
I don't understand why that needed to be news, but okay.
I don't know why either, but
I don't understand. I'm very confused by that. But
she was like, "Oh, I saw him walk in, and he just sat down." And like, strippers are hustlers. They see people who think are rich or like have money, and they will like be lying. Yep. And she saw him, and he was just sitting there. She was like, he didn't say anything to me or drink anything. He just sat there, and then he gave him $50,000. Probably like, get away from me, money.
Why you in the club, Kanye?
But I just didn't understand.
I feel bad
why
for
that's a hot topic.
Because Kim on the internet crying, and she feel like it's her fault. Why? Like she was like, I can't go with him to Wyoming, and I think he deserves to be with somebody who
I see that from both sides.
I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, I feel, and then a lot of people was like, well, he has bipolar disorder, and I'm like, I said, okay, I'm gonna try to be sensitive to that, but I don't know anybody, and I don't really know a lot of people with bipolar disorder, so I'm not gonna speculate on the disease itself. I can only speak on what I know and what I see. What I see is a man who is impulsive, and it's like every year he's moving. I don't know about y'all, but manic episodes don't happen every year. They happen when they happen. Okay, every year Kanye's picking up and moving somewhere.
But too, I feel like he's an artist, and I feel like they grasp inspiration from different places and experiences, and the type of artist that he's not gonna have a different experience being in the same place. Not to make that as an excuse, but like also he's been in love with Kim since 2004, and it took him a long time to finally get her. And I think once he got her, it was cool in the beginning, but then once she started like doing things for herself and doing certain things, he was like, hold on a second. Like, and then same thing with him. I'm sure she wasn't expecting him to be how he is now. Like, people change and things change, and it's like sad because they have 4 kids. They have 4 children under 8. You know,
I feel bad for her because she's blaming herself. And I feel like
it's not entirely her fault.
it's not your fault for you to be sitting up there crying like that. It's very hurtful to me. Despite my personal feelings about her, I don't want her to be upset and blame herself like that. I mean, she was really upset.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And that
no,
sucks.
I'm like, no. I'm like, I may not like you all like that. But he is who he is. You can't change that.
Nope.
So I wouldn't be upset about. The only thing I'd be upset about is that no, he doesn't have to constantly stay in one place. Even if he's an artist, and that's fine. But he has responsibilities. There are
But
4
I think
children.
too, but I think that's only like one layer of their problems. I think
Mm.
him impulsively tweeting and the things he was tweeting about, him being a Trump supporter and she's not, and then her feeling as if she has to defend him or be on guard every time they go someplace. Like
Well, you do, baby. You
that's
do.
uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. But again, you knew the person he was when you married him.
If you didn't, you learn real quick.
Yep.
I'm just saying. I feel bad for her though. In that aspect, I do. But you'll get over it. And she's like, I feel like a failure. I've been married 3 times. I said, girl.
But the first time she got married, she was 19. And then I feel like the second one, the
second one she did on her own volition. So I blame her for that.
Yes.
You shouldn't have did the shit.
Nope.
Because you know you didn't love him when you married him.
And that poor guy ain't.
And he didn't do nothing. You ate his ass up and chewed him out and spit him out. You didn't have to do him like that. So that one, you get no sympathy from me.
Nope.
I'm hard. React to yourself. But
that poor guy couldn't play ball no more.
Nope.
Because of that. It's terrible.
And a lot of her fans attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
Went at his neck. And I was like, he didn't even do nothing. I'm like, what kind of woman divorces a man after a couple days of being married?
But then their wedding was so elaborate, though. Like, that's the whole thing. And like, not for nothing. Like, I watched it and still do to get like wedding ideas for the future. But like, that wedding was so elaborate and it was so expensive.
So over the top.
It was so expensive. But that should have been a sign for him when they were signing their marriage license and she didn't want to take his name. That should have been a sign. That should have been a sign.
I don't have my license yet.
What the hell?
I got an ID, but I don't have a license. No.
Why?
I don't want it.
Why?
Because then I have to get in the car and take the driver's test, and I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just get a damn ID. My ID lasts longer than his driver's test, his driver's license.
No, but it's just...
Yes, it does.
It's just the license.
Your ID expires before mine.
But don't you go to like the courthouse and sign the paperwork?
What'd you say?
It's just the license. I think here it's just you pay the $40 and you go to the courthouse and sign the paperwork.
Oh no. In Ohio, when you want to get a license, you have to take the test.
Like a marriage license?
No, driver's license.
No, I'm talking about marriage license.
Oh, we have a marriage license.
Okay.
What?
I'm about to say, why do you have a marriage license? I'm about to say, bitch.
The question was a driver's license.
No, marriage license. I'm like, what the hell? How are you married?
Been married to Gerard this whole time. I got plenty of paperwork on that. I got that card in my wallet. I got the mini. in
I'm
my
about to
water.
say,
Okay,
what the hell?
we got the marriage license. Me and AJ got married before we had the ceremony.
You're
We were
supposed to.
already we had the marriage license and we had to go. You have to go downtown at a specific time of the day on a Monday or Wednesday,
Something like that.
and it has to be ten between 10 and 5, because you can't go down there any other day, and the judge has to be able to issue them, and then we have to have somebody who's ordained in the state or ordained period.
Luckily for us, Uncle Steve was.
Right, and I have a lot of pastors in my my
In New York,
uncle.
they have somebody do it, but you just need like a witness to
Oh
sign
no,
up on the license.
oh no, like you can go get the license, right? But you don't have to, like, if you're gonna get married in front of the judge, then you have to go on a different day at a different time, and then you still have to go get that license on a specific day. So all that shit, like, we just wanted to go get the license, and I thought we could just go down there and get it, but you can't. You have to go down there at a specific day and in between these hours to get the license. If you want to, especially if you want to get married by the judge. If
Okay.
you're just going to pick up the paper, what they do is they'll give you the certificate. Um, they'll send the certificate to your house. You have to fill out the paperwork, and you have to have your pastor sign it, and then you have to take it back downtown.
They do that here too. Yeah.
They will end up mailing you the actual certificate, or they will give it to you on site. AJ was able to get it right then because they had the embossed marriage license down there. So we got ours a couple days after we got married. We had to go back
What the
downtown
hell?
and get it. We had already had the ceremony by then, and we had to go back downtown and get it because AJ was getting ready to leave, and we got married right before he went into the military.
Oh wow.
And he needed the actual marriage license to proof of marriage.
You a
Because
military wife. Oh.
yeah, I was a military wife. But he needed the license before he got in, because if we got married after he got in, he would have had to pay my debt.
Oh, okay.
They would have garnished his wages until my school debt was paid.
And that's a bullshit.
I didn't feel like that was fair. I said, this is my debt. No, this isn't his debt. This is my debt.
Right.
So it wasn't right for him to have to pay something that I decided to do for myself. So I told Gerard, I was like, well, we can get married before you leave. And then, because the recruiter was like, if you're going to get married to your girlfriend now.
Oh.
And he was like, I don't have no problem doing that. He was like, Tiffany, do you want to do it? I was like, are you sure you want to get married right now? Because you proposed like last year. I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? He was like, whether we get married now or a few years from now, it doesn't matter. I still love you the same, so it doesn't matter.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cry, so I don't.
Oh. Did you guys have a honeymoon?
Then he was gone for like 6 months. I didn't get to see him or talk
hell
to
no.
him.
Oh hell no.
I didn't get to see him or talk to him for like 6 months. He was gone.
Oh no.
And I was so angry.
Nope.
Because my mom, like, they can only call basic training, you can only call once. And he was like, I need you to be close by the phone so you can make so you're okay and you understand that I'm okay. And I was like, okay, cool. I would sit up all night. I was in school at that time. And because I was in college, my dad told me that it was okay that I didn't have to have a job, that he just wanted me to focus solely on school. So I was getting benefits for being in school from my dad. So I would help pay the bills because I was living there at the time. So I would buy groceries and I would put money in the gas in their car, and I would put money on the lights. And AJ sent money home. So I was doing all of that. I was going to school and doing that, and I was having weird ass vampire hours. I'd be up at 9 o'clock at night, and I would be asleep for the better part of the day. So I wouldn't get up until 8 or 9, and I'd be up all night because I knew AJ was doing training during the day, and at night they would only get a chance to call in the middle of the day. So I'd be up in the middle of the day, but at night I'd be wide awake. I'd just be up studying, or I'd be up playing a video game or some shit like that because I couldn't go to sleep.
Nah, 6 months is a long ass time.
6 months he was
I'd
gone.
have been like, I'm going with you.
February,
It was we were gone
That's a
from
long ass time.
February to like mid-June.
on July. Because I didn't get down to you didn't go to
No, when I got done with all my training.
yeah, but you didn't go to your base. You didn't get to Valdosta until
It was June. I got there
Where was he stationed?
I was stationed in Georgia.
Oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with
You was
you.
in Texas for 6 months.
The fuck? Nope.
You was in
I'm going.
Texas for 6 months.
For 6.5 weeks for basic, and then I did another 6.5 weeks in Biloxi, Mississippi.
He was in Mississippi, Texas, and then he was moved to Georgia.
I'm going
So
with
I didn't see him, and on occasions I did get phone calls with him after the first couple of weeks.
Oh, not weeks?
But those were rare. Those were few and far between. Like I really didn't get the chance to talk to him until he physically got stationed in Georgia. And that's when he started to call me. That was
Did you have a honeymoon?
Yeah. No. No, never had a honeymoon.
Not officially, no.
No. We've been married a long time. Never had a honeymoon.
For how many years?
Mm-mm.
You've been married for how many years?
13 in June.
13. Next week is 13th year. Yeah.
Hey, you never had a honeymoon?
Never had a honeymoon.
Y'all gotta go somewhere. No.
Never had a honeymoon.
Y'all gotta go somewhere. Tiff.
Yeah.
You
You
have
need to
to
throw that ass in a
have
circle, girl,
one.
somewhere.
I've been trying.
Girl.
Gerard's not. I want to see other places.
Or
I
do like
wanna
a
go.
cute little staycation somewhere.
Gerard, it's like pulling teeth.
Why? Jared
Because I'm stubborn.
will be unstubborn.
Now our anniversary is next week, but I planned out our anniversary because Gerard couldn't figure out anything to do for it.
What?
So we can't go out of town because we're going out of town in July. And my sister wanted us to go to her house for the 4th, and I was like, okay, cool. And my younger brother's going. All of us are just gonna go down to her house. We're gonna go to North Carolina for a week and chill and go see family. And I was like, okay, that'll be our little mini vacation.
No. You need a separate honeymoon. Just you two.
I can't get him to do it. I can't get him to do simple things like plan our anniversary.
Why the hell?
I had to plan that.
Jared.
It's next week. And I still planned it. And I was like, okay, what can we do in this city that's not going to cost us a lot of money? And I know that he hasn't seen all of the art in Cleveland. Like, we have a really big street art scene in Cleveland. And I was like, let's go drive around the city and look at the street art and take pictures. We'll have lunch, and then I'll make you dinner. And we'll watch a movie. And he was like, okay, cool, that's fine. He had no idea how to plan for it or even think about it. So I came up with the concept for it because I was like, I want to do something that I know I would really like because I actually like the street art here in Cleveland. It's very, very eclectic. And there's so many different types of street art all over the city. And they have a guide for it online. So I was like, I'm going to pull up the guide. We're going to go and we're going to take pictures in front of the street art. We're going to have our lunch outside.
Wait.
And then we're going to go in.
What the fuck is this? I'm sorry.
No,
there's a show on TLC with the two twins, and like I've seen them on Botched before, and they're on this reality show. They're like these like identical twins that do everything together. They dress the same. They drive the same car.
They black?
No.
Okay.
They share a phone. Long story short, they're on some reality show on TLC, and they're dating the same guy,
Ew.
and they're trying to get pregnant at the same time.
They sharing the same dick.
That is disgusting.
That's nasty.
That's disgusting.
Ew.
Ew. They probably have three. Oh, that's disgusting.
But I did tell Gerard I wanted to go to Vegas
Oh, I
next
thought you said.
year.
I thought you were gonna say. I told you I wanted to have a threesome.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. No. Something wrong with you.
I'm sorry.
I told him I've always wanted to go to Vegas, and he said he
I'm
didn't mind
sorry.
going. I wanted to go to Fiji.
Vegas is bomb. I've been there several times. It's so much to do. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
I keep getting mixed shit about like Vegas, and everybody keeps
I
saying
love
that it's
Vegas.
boring, and then some people say that it's great, and I'm
No.
like, well, what? Which is it?
But you gotta do it in
I
shifts.
can give you no
The
comment
first
on
time you
anything.
go, make it like the party trip. They do like the club scene, and then the second time you go, like do like the
tour
shows,
stuff.
and then like third time you go, like do it for the food and restaurants or shopping. Like you gotta do it in shifts.
Don't do it all at once.
No.
Oh,
No.
Jaden lives in Las Vegas.
I
Oh,
love
cool.
Vegas.
How do you make money on YouTube?
Jaden.
Well, first you have to make a channel, and then you have to get your views up to 4,000. You have to have 4,000 plus followers, and then you'll start to make AdSense on YouTube. And all you have to do is go into your YouTube studio, and you can monetize your videos, and that will allow you to make money off of your channel. Now, what will happen if you have copyrighted material in your video is all the revenue from that video will go specifically to the person who has copyrighted it. So if you have music in there, images from, WWE, AEW, or from a network, like if you're talking about TVs or movie shows, they will copyright strike it and you will not receive that revenue, which is why a lot of YouTubers are like stoked about sponsorship. That's why you see a lot of sponsorships for mobile games, VPNs, meal prep businesses. That kind of stuff is going to happen because people are losing AdSense due to the heavy copyright striking on YouTube. So if you want to make money on YouTube, you definitely can. You can also make money on Instagram. IGTV has an option for you to make money off of your videos. I think you have to have 100 plus followers on IGTV and at least, I don't know, over 100 plus views on your videos on IGTV in order for you to have some type of revenue through Instagram. And you can also get revenue through TikTok. If you have enough people following you on TikTok, you have enough views on TikTok, you can sign up for the creator fund and you can make money that way. So there's all kinds of ways to make money on the internet, but only a few people get past that red tape to be able to actually make money on the internet. So if you're not like, Charlie D'Amelio or Jackie Aina, which Charlie D'Amelio makes her money off of stealing other people's shit.
I was just about to say
So
that. Go ahead.
Very interesting to me.
Charlie Stills.
Living single. Come on, yes.
Like it's very interesting to
At
me.
least
That girl
Sheree would give you some type of credit. Charlie
No, she don't.
No. Charlie D'Amelio only gave the Nene twins their credit for the Savage dance because everybody called her out for it. And they're still making up dances on TikTok and people are still stealing them. Which most of them are white creators stealing from the black creators, and the black creators are getting
pushed
down the algorithm.
My Strange Addiction? What the hell? Yeah, like I saw them on Botched because they got like a boob job and they like felt like their nipples, their boobs weren't identical or something.
What?
And they were trying to get the doctor to fix it, and the doctor
Why were
told
they
them,
so obsessed with being
I
identical?
don't know.
That's so weird.
And
So
the
they
doctor
want
told them
everything to
there's
be
like,
identical.
Yes.
yes. And there was like a scene, they went to a restaurant and they asked for orange juice, and the cups the waitress brought them weren't the same level of juice. So they was like, you still got more. No, no, but you got more. No, you got more than me. I'm like, oh my God.
That is so weird. So weird.
Mm-mm.
I was like, what the
Mm-mm.
fuck?
That is so weird.
And they
I would be
dress the
freaked
same.
out.
Their makeup look the same. I'm like, what are they? The Olsen twins?
The Olsen twins ain't even like that. Do y'all have an In-N-Out, Whataburger, or Jollibee? No.
Nope. I
In-N-Out
got
and
Shake Shack.
Well,
Jollibee
I'm
is
from Texas,
In-N-Out and
so
Jollibee
of course
are
it.
West Coast restaurants.
Yep.
And some of them are in the South, but I haven't seen a Jollibee in the South. They're mostly on the West Coast. Whataburger is a Southern restaurant. Most of the time, you'll find that across the South. It's very prevalent in Texas because that's where it came from. But you'll find it in Louisiana, Georgia,
That's the only thing I could be
Mississippi,
proud of from Texas.
Alabama.
I didn't see one in Georgia.
Because
In-N-Out
you wasn't
Burger.
in
I
the right
went to the
place.
one in Vegas, and it's so good. Oh my God, it's
Whataburger
so
is
good.
amazing. I love Whataburger.
Waterburgers patty melt. Oh my god,
Do you believe
it's
that
I've
so
never
Candace
had
good.
it.
Owens is telling the truth about Black people?
You
No.
should try it. It's very
No,
good.
Candace Owens is what you would
Who's
call
Candace
an
Owens?
Uncle Tom.
Yep.
She's a
Oh, that
queen.
black Trump supporter.
Yeah, and I'm not. And don't get me wrong. Like the first problem I have with Candace is she lords her education over people as if because she has education it makes her superior, and that's just simply not true. It just means she has enough education to be able to speak on a specific topic, but even though you have the education you still aren't using it properly because you're ignorant. You are trying to spin the narrative as if Black people aren't oppressed when you know full well that they are, and you, my dear, are nothing but among a trope. You are a dancing sambo for white people who believe that Black people aren't oppressed. The reality is, yes, Black people are oppressed, and there are things that occur against Black people that white people will never experience, which is one of the reasons why they buck against it so much, because they can't wrap their minds around the fact that someone else has something that they don't. Despite how terrible it is, it makes them feel as if they're left out, and they'll go into a whole diatribe about how white people are oppressed too and Black people are racist against them. No, Black people can be discriminatory and prejudiced, but they'll never have the power to be racist against them. It just simply isn't true.
Well, I used to have friends that like to think that they all that just because they have
How did
education and they
Gerard
know
propose to
everything.
you, and what was your reaction? Oh Jesus.
Gee, boy.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta hear this story.
Gerard, we were I was at home, and he had came over. He usually would work throughout the week, and he had 2 days off. It would usually be a Saturday or Tuesday. Sometimes he would get a Friday, but this particular week he had 3 days off, and he stayed at the house Friday, and it was a Saturday morning, and I was sitting down in the living room. I had not combed my hair, I had not brushed my teeth. it was it was just one of those lazy ass days. I was sitting there. He came downstairs and he looked at my mom for some reason. And I noticed that they had been powwowing for a couple weeks. And I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? And my mom was like, mind your business. And she just walked away. I'm like, John, what are you talking to my mom about? I can't tell you that. I'm like, you're having conversations with my mother, and I'm not allowed to know what you're talking about. No, I'm not telling you. I'm like, okay, I'll just ask my dad. So I went in the room and I said, Dad, what is going on around here? He was like, I can't tell you what's going on. I'm like, really? Can somebody just tell me what is happening? He said, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. He was like, don't worry about it. Just know it's nothing bad. It's something good. I'm like, okay. He looks at my mom. Dry came downstairs. About 20 minutes later, after we had been sitting down there talking, he looks at my mom. My mom reaches in her computer desk and she pulled a box out. And AJ came over to me while I was sitting on the couch with my hair standing up on my head and asked me to marry him while we were sitting on the couch. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "I'm serious." And I was like, "Yes, I will marry you." And everything else is history. There really wasn't anything special to it. It was special because he asked me to marry him. But yes, that is how we got married. At least it wasn't in a McDonald's parking lot. It was at home.
Wait, who got proposed in the McDonald's parking lot?
Oh, well. You ain't never seen the Medea play where
Oh, never
the
mind.
man, the man proposed to him in a McDonald's parking lot?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What are you talking about?
So apparently there was a fucking chicken nugget that was shaped by an Among Us character, and the damn thing sold for $100,000.
They sold a chicken nugget that was shaped like a Among Us character for $100,000. You people are
Y'all must have.
retarded.
Well,
Okay,
I guess people have the money to waste stuff.
that's stupid.
Um,
So, do you and Gerard have 2 anniversaries or just one? We celebrate one. I don't force him to celebrate the anniversary of when we got together or any of that. We celebrate our wedding anniversary because that's the one that matters. Everything else just falls in the end because without the other ones, we wouldn't be at the wedding. So, let's just celebrate the wedding one. Valdosta is freaking tiny. I have an internet friend from there. It's a very small city. It's based around the military base. There's literally one main street in Valdosta. It's called Bemis, and Bemis has everything on it. When you take Bemis from the military base all the way down into the city part, there is Walmart, there's a grocery store, there's a movie theater, and then there's a little plaza with like some shopping centers. So you can go shop for clothes and shoes and stuff. Other than that, you have to go outside of Valdosta to go shopping. Like you would have to go to like Lowndes County and get stuff. But there's a black area in Valdosta, Georgia that we just didn't go to because it was racist over there. So we had to protect ourselves. At least the military knew what parts of the city was racist and for us not to go there.
do y'all watch Jurassic Park?
You mean the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch it?
I watched the original from like
first
back in the
movie.
day.
Oh, I'm watching the original right now.
Yeah, I was going to say what it said.
Yeah, because the original set had
Jeff Goldblum.
I love Jeff Goldblum, and he was in that one. So I like the first one. I didn't like the second one or the third one.
The second one was alright.
I didn't like them.
The second one was just showing the same dinosaurs.
I didn't like it. I like Jurassic World. When they came out with Jurassic World, I thought that was I thought that was a good callback to the original. They did it differently, but they didn't take away from the premise of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Wait, they've been
I
dating
watched
that guy
that when I was little.
for 10 years?
Mhm.
Ew.
That's gross.
What?
Ew.
I'm thinking about going to
But
Vegas.
I watched that movie when I was a little kid, and I was so scared because I saw that had Dominus Rex.
There's great things to do in Vegas. Oh,
It
awesome.
is.
I want to go.
I love Vegas.
Those twins haunt me in my sleep. They were on my strange addiction.
That's
they
disgusting.
were addicted to being identical. They made the twins go without each other for 24 hours. It haunts me. It's really gross, actually.
It's disgusting.
Connie's always say we like to be oppressed. I'm sure there are some people who like to be a victim, because which is where her rhetoric lies.
First of all, she needs to get a proper silk press. That's first of all.
Damn.
Dumb bitch.
When people say that they're oppressed, I think people think like in terms of we all just sitting there with massa cracking the whip at us. And that's not always what oppression looks like. Oppression very much is microaggressions. And most of the racism we experience now is microaggressions, where people are saying things and they feel like there's nothing wrong with what's being said. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, your hair is so curly. When I take a shower, my hair curls up like yours. Oh my God, how do you wash your hair? Or how do you get it clean? It's so tightly coiled. It's so kinky, and they'll say little stupid shit like that. And you'll sit there and look at it like, bitch, how do you
I'm
wash
like,
your hair?
like it's
Doesn't
so
half your shit
kinky.
go down the drain?
Really? Like it's so kinky. So is your husband.
Woo,
Oh Jesus!
woo.
Speaking of Candace Owens, she has like a podcast or something,
Yeah,
and she
unfortunately.
had Janelle
Mm.
from T Mom on there, who is not on the show anymore
Yeah,
because
because you said some
because her
racist
husband
ass shit.
said something like racist stuff, but she also said something about Colin Kaepernick a while
Yeah.
ago, and his girlfriend does the like T Mom unions, and she brought it up, and she acted like she had no idea what she was talking about, and in typical white girl fashion, she started crying and playing the
Hmm.
victim. I was like, girl, bye,
I
girl,
remember
bye.
that Nessa was on her ass too, and I
As
was
she
like,
should have been.
"Well, you old, you was old that
Yep,
you thought you was gonna be able to talk about her man like that and then get away with it. I'd have busted your ass on national TV too.
yep.
Mm. Good night, Enrique.
Good
Hell
night."
no. She better than me because I had a popped ass on sight.
One set of the twins has been sleeping in the same bed for 30 years. One of them has a husband and is pregnant with a baby coming pretty soon. She still lets the sister come in while hubby sleeps.
What?
Wait,
What in the Sweet Home Alabama?
Oh, for the love of God.
that is so.
That's disgusting.
Why?
Sweet Home Alabama stuff like that.
That's
Mm,
disgusting.
I don't understand. I don't understand that.
Jesus Christ.
I just don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I bring this topic back up again. But so, um, but I'm still confused why Army people come after Pride Month because they don't think they have their own whole month to themselves.
I don't think that's army people. I think that's a misconception. First of all,
Ow.
well, the issue is that they feel like because the gay community or the LGBTQIA community has a whole month, and well, military only get a few days. So you get Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. But the military is celebrated every single day, no matter where they go or what they do. They are thanked for their service. There are even military discounts that they receive. You're not going to get a military. You're not going to get a pride discount. Okay, that's not going to happen. Like people barely can survive and live their lives as normal people and just be gay and happy. So a lot of people are gonna make it about the military, but it's not about the military. They just don't want the gay community to have Pride Month. They just don't want them to have that, and that's fine. But it is what it is. So
I did my little
military
research.
is celebrated every single day. 4th of July, they're celebrated. The United States of America celebrates the military as if it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So they don't need a holiday they don't need a whole month to celebrate the military. If they did decide to give the military a holiday, okay, cool beans. But they don't need it because it's already held in high regard. The reason why Pride Month exists is to make people aware that the gay community isn't going anywhere and that they are celebrating the fact that they are out and they are proud. And it also gives people who are not sure if they're part of the community or people who are afraid to make themselves known that they're a part of the community the opportunity to come out safely. And that is all.
Yeah, but I did my little research. I found that Google was free. Um, in my little research, they have actually 3 months to themselves, which is May, November, and April, which
They're saying the
involve.
whole month isn't theirs. So there are days in that month that we celebrate, which Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. Those are the days they celebrate the military, celebrate the service of people, and they celebrate the country as a whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a month where people celebrating Pride doesn't really, to me, that I don't see anything wrong with that. It doesn't change how they're they're treated. I mean, people in the gay community sometimes are treated like dirt, and you're concerned about a fucking holiday. Let it go. It's not even a federal recognized holiday. It is Pride Month is not a federal. It's not a recognized federal holiday. So nobody gets any days off. Whereas on Memorial Day, what is that, Labor Day and Veterans Day, people get days off on that day. It's a federal holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you're fine.
I'm sorry for saying army people. I'm just gonna say my idiot used to be friends thought that army the military they get their own holidays or their own months to themselves.
How old are your friends? Or used to be friends?
15, 15.
Are they straight?
Yep, and
I doubt that.
homophobic
I'm gonna say that.
and black and mixed with Mexican.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't care if they're not your friends anymore, or even if they are your friends and that's what they believe. They can believe what they want. I wouldn't give a shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'd just be like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Like if that's how
Like
you feel, bro, then whatevs.
at like at some point I told myself I'm gonna have to cut the line with these people because
Is
I
Kaylani a
can't deal with
lesbian?
that.
I mean, she identifies as a lesbian as of right now. Can't really tell you what somebody else's sexuality is. I can only go by what they have said. And that's what she said, was that she was a lesbian. Which good for her. If that's what she identifies as. I ain't gonna shit on it.
Yeah, I think I get my second vaccine next week.
I hope y'all getting vaccinated, man. They done open the world back up. At
Yeah,
least our state is fully open. You can go anywhere without your mask on now. Which I'm kind of glad
yeah,
about because I was tired of breathing through that cloth.
Still putting it on.
yeah.
I'm kind of glad that I could go to the store now and forget my mask and not feel like, you know, it's the end of the world. Did you
Yeah.
get your vaccine shot? Yes, I've been vaccinated since the end of May. I got my third vaccine shot on May 28th. I've been vaccinated
The
since
third
then.
one?
Second, sorry. A
That's what's
second
up.
vaccine shot.
I
My
got
bad.
mine during middle of May or in April. No, middle of May.
Well, that's when they finally said the kids under 16 can start getting a shot. Laying
Yeah.
on the thing.
What the hell that cold shit was in my arm?
Yeah, man.
I gotta go to camp tomorrow, guys. I
Where are
see
you
some
going
little
to camp?
creatures.
Camp.
Where are you going to camp for?
Church thing. Yeah.
Oh.
My mom said it's a good thing to reconnect with your old friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Church camp always give me some creepy ass vibes.
Not church camp. It's Camp Carter. We're not going there for a whole week. We're just going there for a day. If
Oh.
I'm not going to church, I'm not going to church. I mean church camp because you gonna have to force me. You gonna have to drag me to that, or you have to kill me. I'm
Oh.
not going.
What is that? Kill him. Damn.
Drag my dead body over there.
Oh wow. That's unfortunate. My mom decided to foster a cat and did not tell us until yesterday that my cat and I were having a sister. She thought it was hilarious. I did not. It's just a cat. It's not that bad. I'm sure the cat's really nice.
I don't like cats.
Well, I mean, nothing really happened on SmackDown today, so I am going to shut down the live for now because I has nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, we did what we supposed to. Well, I did what I was supposed to do today. So,
Yeah, you did. She was very
what
happy.
grade do I get?
I don't
Do
know.
I get an A?
I didn't ask for the report. Tears of the
I didn't realize she was gone.
Yeah, so she probably got a phone call or something. You know, if her boyfriend calls, she's going to answer the call. She told me in the form of jokes without clarifying she was serious. Oh, I can see how that would be annoying. I can see that.
Yeah.
But quick recap before I leave. SmackDown had a couple things happen. Roman beat up the Mysterios for whatever reason. I don't understand why he did that, but he did. I did think that he was going to interfere in the Usos match, but I didn't think he was going to beat down the Mysterios. That part kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. Also, of course, Bianca is still being tortured by Bayley. Which I don't understand why Bianca don't just punch her in the face, but live your best life, fam. And then you had Otis and Chad Gable going after the Street Profits, which kind of pulled the Street Profits from the Usos. So then you had Carmella get a W over Liv tonight, which I think Liv should have won that match, but whatever. And that was pretty much SmackDown. Roman cut a promo at the beginning of the show. He also closed the show. For the better part of the show was the matchup between the Usos and the Mysterios. And there also was a match with Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews that ended with Apollo Crews continuing to reign supreme as the Intercontinental Champion. And of course, Sami Zayn constantly attacking Kevin Owens, just kicking him dead in his face over and over and over again. So it was a lot going on SmackDown, but not really. It was a pretty mellow show. So I hope you guys, if you haven't seen it, you can watch the clips on YouTube. They always put the clips up on YouTube. And of course, if you got Hulu, you can watch it in the playback on Hulu or any streaming service. I think Sling TV has it and a bunch of other places have it. Other than that, I'm going to go. So you guys have a good night. And I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Probably go live tomorrow. So peace.
Bye.